In this video, I'd like to do two more examples of learning how to read our conversion factor reference sheet. As we mentioned in the previous example, reading the bottom piece is easy. It tells us 12 inches equals 1 foot, 16 ounces equals 1 pound, 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. But up here, when we were dealing with metric to metric conversions, it was a little bit trickier because of the prefix that was involved. So if we go back to our conversion factor reference chart using it, and we look here, if we are asked, write the appropriate conversion factor between liters and nanoliters. So when we come to our chart, there are some base units involved. If we're measuring mass, we're measuring grams, length in meters, volume in liters, time in second. In this case, they are asking us about the base unit of liters. So it looks like the prefix they're asking about is nano. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my chart and I'm going to find the prefix nano. Nano is here. And what we said last lecture was we wish they would have included the term base at the end of each of these prefixes. They just write the prefix and don't put the word base. So we know that it looks like 1 billion. 1 billion nano. Well, nano what? Nano base, but what base are we dealing with? The base we're dealing with is liters. So we would write 1 billion nanoliters. And I thought I gave myself plenty of room there, but apparently I didn't. 1 billion nanoliters. How do I get that? 1 billion nanoliters is equal to what? 1 base. And in this case, that base is liter. Now, in the previous lecture, I showed that once we have this equivalent statement, I know that 1 billion is not equal to 1, but 1 billion nanoliters is equal to a liter. Once we have this statement, we can actually write this in terms of a fraction, and because both sides of the fraction are equivalent, they are both equal when we divide them, whichever way we divide them is just going to equal 1. So now I can write 1 billion nanoliters divided by 1 liter. If I take that, it's going to equal 1 because this on the top is equivalent to on the bottom. It's like taking 5 divided by 5 or 7 divided by 7. Or I can write it as 1 liter over 1 billion nanoliters. And when I divide those two, it equals 1. How would I know which fraction to use for the conversion? Well, it would depend. Let's say that I started with 5 liters and I'm trying to convert to nanoliters. Well, in this case, I would use this first one to put the liters on the bottom to cross out and the nanoliters on the top. But if they gave me 5 nanoliters as my given, then I would use the second one and put the billion nanoliters on the bottom to cross out nanoliters and the 1 liter on the top. So it all depends on what information they give us on which fraction we're going to use. Just like when we said 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer, depends on which fraction we use depending on what they gave us, whether it was kilometers or meters. Now I'd like to do one more example, and on this example it actually involves 2 prefixes. I'm moving from kilometers to centimeters. So on these examples on the backhand side, we're looking for 2 conversion factors. I do not ask you to write them in fraction form on the backhand side. We're just going from kilometers to centimeters. every time we go from one prefix to another prefix, we always want to go to the base unit. So first we go from kilometers to the base unit. Then we'll go from the base unit to centimeters. So we go from kilometers to the base, then from the base to the centimeters. So what does this look like? Our first conversion factor involves kilo, 1,000. The base we're using is meters. So I put 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. Now that I'm at my base unit, I can go to centi, and I put 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. Those are the conversion factors that I would use. Now, what kind of question would be asked that I would have to use these conversion factors? Let's look at an example. Let's say an example asked us, calculate the number of centimeters in 5,000 kilometers. And I hope it's okay, I abbreviated centimeters with cm and kilometers with km. So write the two appropriate conversion factors from kilometers, because I'm given the kilometers, and centimeters. This would be an example of what it would look like. I would start by writing down 5,000 kilometers. I'm going to multiply by an empty fraction. Well, let's look at the conversion factors I have. If I'm starting with kilometers here, I know I want kilometers down here. So what would I put? I'd put 1 kilometer, and I'll abbreviate the km. And what goes on top? 1,000 meters. That allows me to cross out kilometers. But am I done? No, I've got answer in meters. I need to do another step. And the second step, I'm going to need to put a meter on the bottom to cross out meter, and a centimeter on the top, and we cross out the meter. And now my answer is going to be in centimeter. How do I get my answer? It's 5,000 times 1,000 times 100. So that would be, I'm not going to be able to fit that number in there, 5,000, 000. So I put my decimals in the wrong spot, so it would end up like that. 50, what is that? Million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 500 million centimeters would be my answer if I wrote that correctly. Because of 5 with the 3 zeros, another 3 zeros, and then the 2 zeros. I think it comes out to that. So this is an example of how you would use the 2 steps for the conversion factor. I hope this helps in understanding how to use the conversion factor reference sheet.